welcome to the Kieran McCarthy Homes info vlog. Today I'd like to talk about what to look for when buying an old house. And remember, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to my channel below. So I spent many years looking at old houses, renovating old houses, building new houses. So I've learned all the difficulties you can see when you're looking at an old house and how to fix them. So here are my top 5 tips. So number 1, the walls. Walls of the house support the roof, they support the floors, and they're integral to the structure of the house. They're generally stone or masonry concrete blocks. So I look at the walls to see, are they square? Is the plaster in good condition? Are they holding out moisture? Are they stone walls or are they masonry walls? Stone walls cost an awful lot more to renovate, and if you want to create a new doorway or a new window or something in a stone wall, it's a much more difficult proposition because there's an awful lot more preparation works, there's an awful lot more propping works to keep stone in place, and when you're plastering and making good corners and reveals, there's an awful lot more work involved. When you've stone walls, masonry walls can be cut with consaws on site and angle grinders, and they're much more simple to support. However, one of the benefits of stone walls is they're generally a lot thicker, the more you're separating the inside of the house from the cold weather on the outside of a house. The next thing I look for in an old house is the roof. What condition is the roof in? Does it have a slate roof? Is it a natural slate? Is it the original natural slate? If it is and it's in great condition, it's rare. It's beautiful to have it, but it's rare. If it's not natural slate and it's been replaced with asbestos slates. Asbestos slates, if they're in good condition and they're not going to be moved, it's not a major issue. Asbestos is only difficult to deal with when you're moving it. You should never break it or cut it. That's when you get airborne asbestos dust and fibers, which is very dangerous. So are the slates straight? Are the slates are they all in place? You can, from a visual look, you can see, are all the lines in place? Are all the lines consistent? Is there any slates missing? Are all the slates in place local to a chimney, local to the edges where a roof would meet a gable, and down towards the gutters? Are the gutters in place? Is it an old cast iron gutter? Again, if it's in great condition, it's a great asset to have, a beautiful old feature in a building. If it's a PVC gutter, it's likely a replacement gutter. Is that in good condition? Is a moss growing out of it? You can see where the outlet is, where the downpipe is all the gutter falling towards the downpipe. If it's a wet day, is there any drips coming out over the gutter? If the gutter is kind of falling away a bit, there's a good chance your fascia board behind the gutter is in trouble, and that could mean that the roof joist ends are also in trouble, which could signify that you've a major structural work to do on the roof. So again, these are all kind of telltale signs. When you're looking at the general lie of the roof, does it look good and flat, or is there a bit of a sag in the middle? A sag in the middle again could be an old roof that's just decayed and the structure is giving away, or it could have been that the timber structure in the roof wasn't sized adequately day one for the weight of the slates. So that could be a major enough roof structural repair. So the third thing I would look at are chimneys. I've always felt chimneys are by far the most complex part of an old building. Even to renovate chimneys, it's often done by specialist chimney repair companies. When you're looking at chimneys, are the pots in place? Are the pots capped? If they are capped, you have to look at the inside to make sure the chimney stack is adequately vented. If they're not capped, make sure there aren't like birds' nests gathering in the chimney. And if you can look up at the capping of the chimney, is the capping cracked? Is there moss growing down the side of the chimney? That's not a good sign. Is it a brick chimney? Now, brick chimneys can look beautiful, the old Victorian red brick, but they are notorious, unfortunately, for leakage. You can plaster the external of the chimney, but of course you lose all the lovely old character of the brick. There are products you can paint on where you get a warranty, so you can still see the old character of the brick, but you get a seal on the outside. But again, it's a very specialist area, and I'd go in with your eyes open if you have significant visual defects on a chimney. The next thing I would look at is plumbing and electrics. So we go inside the building. The first thing I would look for is the fuse board. Is it a new white fuse board with modern trip switches? If this is the case, you have likely a fairly recent electrical system in place, and it may very well be a case where you can get your electrician to vet it and sign off that it can be reused. When it comes to plumbing, the first thing I'd look at is the boiler. If you're fitting a boiler today, you'll be using a condensing gas boiler. I'd certainly get your plumber to check it. If you're reusing the current boiler, you need to get it serviced. Beyond that, then you have a look at the radiators. Are they modern radiators with like a dual pan and fin system? In which case they're quite energy efficient, and thermostatically controlled rad valves which control the temperature on the side of the radiators are the older fittings. Again, your plumber will tell you how efficient the existing system, and you can make a call on what needs to be done there. Beyond that, you're looking at the plumbing of the bathrooms and the kitchen. Again, your plumber will advise you on this. And one of the final things I'd look at is the general condition of the internal timber. So one of the first things I'd look at is the stairs of the house, and it's a very simple check. Walk up a few steps, put your hand on the handrail, give it a good shake. Is it give you a good strong resistance, or is it very shaky, in which case you might have to get a carpenter to have a look at. It may be salvageable, it may not be salvageable, depending. And I'd be very careful about how I walk up the stairs, but if you feel walking up a few steps the stairs is really sound, then you can go up onto the first floor. Again, well worth having an engineer with you to check this just for safety reasons. When you're on the first floor, as you walk out onto the main floor areas, if there's a big wide open room, you might see a little bit of a dip in the room. That could be the floor joists were undersized again for the span of the room. If you're feeling that there's a lot of bounce in the floor, you could end up replacing the floors. So you can certainly do a layman's check on this, but it could very well need an engineer's check as well. So my 5 steps again. Number 1, the external walls and plastering. Number 2, the roof. Number 3, the chimneys. Number 4, the plumbing and electrics. And number 5, the internal joinery, so the stairs and the first floor. These are my top 5 tips to check when you're buying an old house. So I hope this has been of help to you. If it has, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll have more info vlogs coming for you very soon.